Namaste and welcome to Dragonfly Cookery and Knives. This is another video that's going to be dealing with promo type of cookery design that we are introducing this year in 2020. To first start off though, I want to reintroduce a World War II Khukuri cookery, and it's actually really a functional World War II cookery that was put into a Cothmore style scabbard. Now it's not elaborately embellished. It doesn't have all the Gurkha's decorations of his unit or anything like that. So it's probably not the gifted sheath that he would, or scabbard he would have had at the end of the war. This more likely might have been after the war. He had this scabbard made and with a cloth on it to wear his cookery during more formal engagements in his village, or like for instance a wedding or something like that. He would probably have had this scabbard made for it. However, by the time we've gotten it, it no longer has the field version of the scabbard that he probably used during the wartime, but it does definitely have the cookery itself. Now this is a really beautiful example of a World War II cookery. Stick tang that goes all the way to the pommel here. Pommel's been screwed into the pommel of the wood handle. Blade is in very good condition, excellent, very sharp. I could definitely go out and use it right now and have no fear of failure of this cookery whatsoever. Now it's very deep cut fuller lines up here, which helps accommodate its age. It could even have gone at the close of World War I and into World War II. This is a very beautiful design, a little bit of an elbow here, not as smooth as some of World War I period. This has a little bit more of that elbow shape that you might see on the cookeries of World War II. And so I may be incorrect in its dating, but this is pretty much where what I have felt that it came from was roughly around World War II period. Excellent, very comfortable handle. Does have some chipping on it where the wood has come off, and you can see the exposed butt plate, but the butt plate is very firmly on there. It's not coming off, along with the all the furnishings on it. It's very solid and very useful. But I really love this cookery, and I thought it would be a great cookery to do a modern replica of it. And so I contacted Raju and showed him this cookery, gave him the measurements and the not so much the weight, because this is a little bit more of a heavier cookery in that it has a very thick and prominent spine, probably about 5/16 of an inch at the bolster, but it does have a distal taper that does taper down to the bevel. Has a nice Scandi grind bevel with convex edge and beautiful cowdy. Excellent, very well made cookery, and a slight hollow forge, very slight. It's not super light, but it's also not super heavy. This is definitely one that you'd have no problem taking it out in the field with you and using it, not only in the purpose of war, of defending your life, but in combat as a secondary weapon. But it also would be a great camp tool, sturdy enough to dig your latrines, build your do your foxholes and use around the campsite. So excellent cookery of that period. And so with that, what we did is in I think it was 2018 or the beginning of 2019, we rolled this reproduction out, and it is being offered on my website. This is the promo type that I received back then, and we were also introducing the Diffencheri script, or actually this is Sanskrit from ancient Hindu text. It has a very deep and spiritual meaning that we had put on this blade, because not only at the time, but you know, kukris have such a deep spiritual root in the culture of Hinduism, and there's so many features in it that are quite deliberately put in it as icons for the faith of Hinduism. So, along with that, I really wanted to accentuate that and introduce some of the ancient script that I have read that have very deep and profound personal meaning for me, and I asked Raju if he would put them on the blade and offer it for folks if they would so desire to have it on their blade. They could request that we would put it on there. Otherwise, it would come without it, and you'll have just the regular plain blade. Now, this follows the blade style of the one I just showed you. It has a nice semi-elbow. It's not real strong and prominent. It still has nice curve to it. Still has that Scandi grind on it. It has a very, very slight, hollow forge, very slight. So it still has a much of the same original blade shape and design profile as the original does. And this one we did extend the handle a bit, where this one is more of a 4-inch handle. This one has a 5-inch handle all the way to the butt plate. Butt plate is also screwed in as the original was, and but yet you have a stick tang that goes all the way and is pinned to the butt plate. So it is a very strong and durable kukri, not super heavy, nice and light, very useful. Really am very pleased with the outcome of this. Raju did a masterful job, as he always does. Very sharp, good balance, outstanding kukri. Now, it also comes with a good size chakmak, fully functional, and very useful, along with a very useful karda. And this one is a spear point type with a Scandi grind, good size handle to it. It's very prominent, fits in the hand very well, and is very functional. Comes with a tender spout pouch. Of course, your frog can be slid off, and your kukri set aside when sitting down, and when you get up and ready to go, you just put it back in the frog, and you're off and running. So, along with the patuka buttons, which is traditional if you wish to wear it in a patuka. Excellent World War II version of the kukri from my collection. And Raju did a fantastic job. Now, this one is being sold on my website. I don't have any in stock right now, so it'd have to be made to order. But and right now that's going to be a little bit of a task because of the COVID-19 pandemic event. Right now, all the forges are cold, and the kami are not allowed to continue to work. They have to be at home with their families, just like we do here in the States. And so we're hoping that this will soon pass, and we'll be able to fire up those forges. But if you wish to put your order in, we will start making it as soon as we can. And it's an excellent, excellent design. Now, oftentimes when I am often inspired by the kukris of antiquity and the historical kukris that were used during times of war. And because in the times of war, a lot of times these things will go through some improvements, and improvements that are inspired by the Gurkhas themselves. They're saying, I need something that's a little bit thinner, or a little bit lighter, or a little bit longer or shorter, or, because this, we're going through the jungles, or we're out in the desert, or we have a lot of gear, and we need. So they would come to their commies, and they would give the feedback, and then they would get their own custom kukris. Now, being a lover of kukris and lover of the traditional style kukris, I sat at the drawing board and I drew up this design and gave it to Raju to see if he could, if we could get a really useful, functional kukri that is very, very traditional, It isn't necessarily patterned after one specific kukri in my collection. It's kind of inspired by many of them. But it is, I would call this a World War II era style kukri. Now, this particular one has a 12-inch blade. It is hollow forged, nice Scandi bevel on it with a convex edge. You have deeply cut fuller lines up here at the spine. It is a 1/4 inch thick that has a distal taper to the tip from the bolster. Steel bolster, steel butt plate with a full rat tail tang that goes over and is peened over with the keeper. It is Indian rosewood handle, traditional style. There's nothing really, anything out of the ordinary. This is a very traditional style kukri that would have been used during the time of World War II, even perhaps World War I. And it is done with the hollow forge to really lighten this blade. This, I believe, if I remember, it is about 555 grams. It is really light, maybe a little bit lighter than the 555. I know it's in the 500-gram range. So it's a light kukri, very useful. I've taken it out and chopped with it a lot. The handle's very comfortable in the hand, has that handshake feel to it. And this is going to be added to our website as a World War II hollow forged kukri, and right now this is a prototype, and so I haven't named it yet. And I haven't put it on the website yet. It will soon be available, but it's very similar in its style and function as this particular World War II kukri that is offered on our website now, with the traditional screwed-in pommel as the original that it was based off of. So this one does come with a very good sized prominent carda. This one has a full handle, good long blade, Scandi grind bevel, not too thick, but really feels the hand and is very, very useful and functional. And you're going to be seeing a lot of our cardas roughly around this shape and size for future kukris. We have found that in the old kukris of antiquity, when they made the cardas, they didn't make these little small ones that you see in being offered with kukris now. It was a fully functional knife, and the reason being is, this had its design purpose for doing a large task and also being a defensive weapon, whereas this was your camp tool. This was what you did your whittling, your food preparation, skinning of animals, and everything. It was a useful knife. And so it was the size of a small EDC knife that we would carry on our belts when we're out there hunting or backpacking or doing whatever. And this is a really useful size, and you're going to be seeing a lot more of this style of carda offered with the kukris that we do, because it is 100% functional. And the kukris that I offer on my website are 100% useful. Granted, this is a beautiful historical representative of a World War II kukri, and for that purpose does deserve to be put on a mantle and admired and remembered for the engagements that the Gurkhas fought with the Brits, whether it be in the Pacific or in a European theater. It definitely is worthy of that remembrance. But as a tool, this is 100% functional. It is a great knife. It is a great kukri, and I really love this thing. It's light and fast. This would be great for martial arts as well as an all-around functioning kukri. And this is going to soon be offered on our website. Raju has really done some beautiful things. He does he does work sometimes with Sharkies, but oftentimes he is his own Sharky. He will actually not only build and make these kukris, but he builds and makes the scabbards as well. And of course, this one has, it's a little bit stuck right now, but the frog does come off. You can pull it out and set this down when you're sitting. It comes with a tender pouch that is functional, boutique buttons, along with a good leather frog that's made out of buffalo leather. That's in a good thickness. It's not weak. Has a good stiffness. It stays on your belt very well. It doesn't ride too high and poke you in the side. It's a very comfortable and very useful kukri. So be looking for this one. It's a Hollow Forged World War II Khukuri stick tang, but it's an all-around useful tool. Great kukri to just, take everywhere. You can take it hiking, you can take it backpacking, hunting. Put it in your Jeep, and then when you're out in the back country and you do your campsite, this will be the tool that you can use for that occasion very easily. It's a very useful and user-friendly kukri. Form follows design perfectly with this. So look for it on our website. I will be doing a review on it, and at that time I will have a name for it where you can find it and identify this kukri from the other kukris that I have on our website. Thank you very much for watching. Keep us in your thoughts and prayers. We're still in this pandemic. We're still locked in our homes. The forges are still cold. And let's pray for a quick end so that the commies can get back to work, fire up those forges, and hit the anvil and making these beautiful kukris for us to enjoy and use. Like and subscribe on my YouTube page, please, and leave any comments there. You can also leave comments or questions and ask for more details about these kukris that you've seen on my Facebook page at Blue Dragonfly Trading Post. Also visit our website where you will find this one already there, ready to be ordered, handmade, built to order, and this one soon to come with a more distinctly hollow forged blade. Also will soon be on our website at dragonflykukriandknives.com. Thank you very much for watching. God bless. Namaste. Stay home, stay safe, and stay healthy. And I'll talk to you on our next video. I have, I think, one more video that I'm doing of a prototype kukri that will be made this year in 2020 and offered on the website. So stay tuned. Thank you very much. God bless. Stay safe and healthy. Namaste.